Hi, welcome to my show. Today, my guest is Dr. Kuldeep Verma. And Dr. Verma is a biochemist who discovered a new phenomenon in women, and every woman really needs to listen to this carefully. He has some very valuable information. Dr. Verma, welcome to my show.
Thank you.
So, as I had discussed, you have some amazing information for women,
Sure.
and that is because every woman, well, not every woman, but most women, especially those involved in a marriage or with a partner who want to conceive,
Yeah.
one of the issues that you say the first thing comes up is that what's the gender? Do you know the gender of the baby?
Yeah.
You know, that's an important issue for
Right.
everybody.
Right.
And why is it, by the way, an important issue?
It's,
You had an
it's,
interesting concept to
yeah,
that.
it's curiosity to find out the gender of the baby, and we developed this to find it on day one. If you do the pregnancy test today, we can tell you the gender today. This is the earliest gender test in the world.
Well,
So,
and this is
yeah.
something you developed,
Mhm.
and you started actually this research in 1982,
82,
correct?
yes, yes.
So can you please just tell us a little bit about your
Sure.
background, because it's incredibly fascinating. You're a very
Sure.
accomplished biochemist, so this is just not something that you started working on yesterday. I mean, this is
Mhm.
over 35 years ago.
Right.
Yes.
In 1982, I was approached by two hospitals to develop something by testing urine because there was big demand, and I was famous in that area because I had just got a President Award in 1976. So, well, that was a good idea, so I started working on it. They gave me urine sample from women who were to deliver next day. That way, there was a comparison of the results very quick. So it took me 2 years to develop a post-conception test to find the gender with 91% accuracy, and we had a clinic there. And then
Can you explain where they're, where exactly?
in Ludhiana, Punjab,
Okay.
yeah, we
Yes,
had
in
a clinic,
India.
yeah, yeah, under the same name, Uroiologics. Uh, so on the side also, I had a very crazy notion that just like there are two kinds of sperms, women also must have something to kind of. Nature never plays one-sided game. So in 2006, it took me so many years. In 2006 was the first time when I saw that yes, there is difference between two menstrual cycles, and very quickly I realized that every woman have alternating boy girl boy girl boy girl specific cycles. So if they conceive in boy cycle, they were getting boys. Right now, it is 94% success rate. Means if 100 couples come to us to get a boy, for example, and if all of them conceive in boy cycle, 94 of them are getting boys. We are so confident now that we ask the couples to name the baby in advance. So now, how does it work? It's very important to learn. Everything is done by testing urine. So because there are two kind of cycles, we need two mid-cycle urine samples. Let me give example. Suppose someone is trying to get a boy, and suppose he gives me sample in November and December this year, and suppose November shows a boy cycle, December will be a girl cycle because all women are alternating. We tell them to conceive in January because automatically that will be a boy cycle again. So if they conceive, they get the boys. If there is no pregnancy, then they have to skip February and then try in March, like that.
Well, and we have a little video, a short 1 minute video that kind of explains this in a
Okay.
nutshell.
Okay.
But before I show the video, I just kind of want to share with the audience to see how much work you've kind of put in your lifetime. So you were an assistant biochemist and doctoral student at Punjab Agricultural University
Mm.
in India, and that was from 1982 to 1987.
Mhm.
And then from 87 to 96, you were a research associate at the North Carolina State University in molecular biology.
Mhm.
And then you worked for 20 years at Detroit Wastewater Treatment Plant in Detroit. And Urobiologics is the company that you founded
Yeah.
in 1982, and you're president of it.
Mhm.
So this is many years of research and work, and so so this is why this information is very valuable. It wasn't just it didn't just happen yesterday. And so I'm going to share a little video
Okay.
so that our audience can better understand. Okay.
Are you trying to conceive a baby boy or girl? At Uroiologics LLc, we have been studying women and their role in formation of a baby's gender. Until now, couples played a game of chance and ended up getting multiple babies of the same gender. Desperate couples tried artificial means and have failed. Our 30 years of dedication led us to discover some amazing facts about women, based on which we launched our PreGender preconception test. All tests require urine samples, which can be mailed for most countries without having to travel. We test 2 mid-cycle urine samples before pregnancy to see which cycle is good for you. If you conceive in the proper cycle advised by us, you have a 90% chance to get your baby boy or girl. We are so confident of our success that we will refund you double if you do not get the planned boy or girl using this program. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will be happy to answer any of your questions. So call Uroiologics LLc today.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And I know that you emphasize the fact that this is done naturally in comparison to what are the other things that are going on out there that are not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are IVF and IUI techniques available, but they're very costly, and unfortunately, they magnify their success rate. They're not. If you search their success rate of IVF at Google, the very first graph from their own union that shows 37%. They never tell the customer. That's wrong. So we are at 94%. We are 3 times better than IVF. So people should be very clear where to put their money.
Yeah.
And we don't even see, because some customers from Australia, UK, they send me, I never meet them, just talk on the phone, and still they're very successful.
And you said you have, so this is, you have how many patents?
We have 5 patents.
You have 5
and
patents.
those patents explain the science behind it. Anyone having little scientific background will know how much work has been done. Just to give a background, there are 6 hormones involved. 3 are behaving like a male hormone and 3 are behaving like a female hormone. Their mutual ratio changes in every cycle. In one cycle, there are 3 male hormones or more. So that will help in conceiving a boy, because sperms can recognize their environment and know where to go. So if the male hormones are more, Y sperm will be activated, and then it goes forward to fertilize.
I'm going to show some graphs that you shared with me.
Yeah.
Maybe this would also help a little bit if you can
Sure.
explain the different phases and how that affects.
Yes, this is a simple graph. In normal population, couples having 1 boy, 1 girl, or whatever. First cycle, I'm just giving example, is a boy phase. Next one will be a girl phase. The difference is TE ratio in the corner. I have the testosterone to estrogen ratio. If testosterone is more, that's a boy cycle. And the second will be girl, and third will be boy again, because every woman is alternating. So suppose if there is a conception in the third cycle, that cycle will be logged for 9 months. This is a very important phenomenon. Just like you stop menstruating after pregnancy, you stop alternating also. There is no girl cycle for 9 months then. Because of that reason, we can find the gender of the baby on day 1. If you do the pregnancy test today, we can find it. And then in other families where they have more girls or boys, in the couples where they have more girls, there is more estrogen, so whole graph is shifted downwards.
So the women, this says women with more girls have slightly more estrogens than testosterone, and that's what, and vice versa for boys, it's the other way around.
Yes.
Okay.
So if the estrogen is more, the X sperm get activated faster, and they conceive. So they conceive very quickly in a girl cycle. So if they go on their own, they have girls. So the only way they can get a boy is through PreGender test, because we'll tell them to avoid pregnancy in the girl cycle and try in boy cycle. There is no other way. There are a lot of information on the internet. Buy this kit, eat this. No,
it's
please,
not.
Yeah.
And this is from research. I
Yeah,
mean, these are decades of
original data.
research that
Yeah.
you have done. Okay.
Yes.
And then so this is the boy cycle.
Yeah, if couples having more boys, the whole setup is pushed upwards toward more testosterone in the body, so they easily get conceived in boy cycle. So the only system which can tell them to avoid in boy cycle and try in girl cycle is ours. People might have known that there are families with 14 boys and 15 girls because they thought they will get opposite gender. If they go on their own, there is a chance that they will get multiple babies of the same gender.
Okay. And so I know, we had talked about this earlier about, how can this, well, first of all, is this the same for all women?
Yes.
The process is the same
Same for all women.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the other question I had for you is, are you able to test for the gender early in the pregnancy if a woman has already conceived?
Yes. Let me give a very striking example.
Okay.
One case from Toronto, they wanted a boy. About 2 years ago, they sent me January, February, and I told them that January is a girl cycle, and February is a boy cycle. You can try even now. He started laughing that, sir, today is the 20th day of the cycle. There is no way. I said, forget about that. All this information is not useful. Just follow my instructions because egg might be waiting. So they tried on 23rd day. There was a pregnancy. That was amazing. And the pregnancy was detected on 26th day. And I told them to collect sample on 27, 28, like that for 3 nights and ship it. But instead of shipping, they just came to my clinic, and there was a boy.
So, you had also shared with me several stories, success stories of people, including, I think, somebody from Germany that you had shared where they wanted a certain sex, and then, can you share some of those stories that you shared with me?
For a family, about 50 couples from a family, they have gone through this test, and they are very happy. So one sister-in-law of a couple, he said, you have to, there was pregnancy. They didn't follow our plan, but there was pregnancy. So he flew, spent 1,700 euros he flew to here, and they stayed in a hotel and tested it. And then I told them it's a boy. That was day like 6 only after pregnancy, and that boy was delivered. They are so happy.
Wow. So, what would you say for people who find this maybe ethically, it's not ethical to pick the sex of the child early on? Do you have any advice or something? And, and I know I had also shared this with you. I know most women I know who wanted to conceive a child, they did have a desire to have one of each gender. I know, 2 sisters. One had 4 girls. One had 4 boys, and actually they went up to the 4th child just because they kept trying for that other gender, and it never worked out. And then they just, because the woman is the one that carries the burden of the pregnancy and having to put her life basically on hold because of that. So so it's important. I know most women, they do find it important. They do kind of want that balance. But what would you say to that if somebody was kind of, they do have that desire, but they maybe their belief system is holding them back?
Based on those graphs, what I'm saying is that if some couple has, for example, 2 girls, they usually think that God will help. God has already helped. Now, the chances of a 3rd baby to be girl are even higher because you have seen that you are tuned that way. So they must consult us. We will help them. So ethic issues, it's their inherent desire to have balanced family. If you ask any newly wedding couple, what do you want? They will say 1 boy, 1 girl. But there is no method, so they keep on trying on their own. And when they get 2 boys or 3 girls, they then start looking around astrologers and all that. They get so there's no need to go anywhere else. This is the only system which can effectively balance their families.
And also there is, I think, because of what's happening in the world with the overpopulation, there are certain countries that are even putting limits, including like that was from before China, and then you were saying that India